Let's chant Omkar together. Om. 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 Let us offer our respect and salutations to Sadguru, Guru Brahma, Guru Vishnu, Guru Devo, Maheshwaraha, Guru Sakshat, Parabrahma, Tasmai Shri, Gurave Namaha. Let us offer our respect and salutations to Guru Parampara, Sadashiva, Samaghat, Shankaracharya, Madhyama, Asmadacharya, Paryantam, Vande, Guru Paramparam. My pranams to all. Slowly open your eyes. I welcome all of you to the today's introductory session on Kathopanishad. So this is called, we are starting today, Upanishad Gnana Yagna. So we'll understand what is Upanishad, what is, in this case, what is the context of Kathopanishad, and progressively through each session, understand the teachings and to contemplate on the teachings of Kathopanishad. Let's start with the story. So there is, I've heard a story, I think it's a research also, done on monkeys. They put 10 monkeys in the room, and there's a ladder. And at the top of the ladder, there is bananas. Now, naturally, the monkeys, when they're put into the room, they start climbing up the ladder and to eat the banana. The moment any monkey touches the banana, all the monkeys are sprayed with water. Okay. Freezing cold water. Have you heard of the story? So, so then no monkey dares to touch. So everybody's just sitting there. So what they do is they take out one monkey and add a new monkey, which has never been part of that group. So there's now one new monkey, and naturally, that one new monkey will now go try to take the banana. But the others, the moment they see that it's climbing the ladder to take the banana, they'll catch the monkey and they will beat it. And then the monkey doesn't dare go up the ladder. So it understands that I'm not supposed to go and go up the ladder. And again, one more monkey from the old group is taken out. A new monkey has been put. The new monkey again tries, and everybody else hits. Okay. Now this monkey, which is a new one, which just got hit, also hits because it doesn't know. Okay. And now again, the third monkey is replaced. So on, so forth, like that. All the 10 monkeys in the group now are all new monkeys. Okay. All new monkeys. And nobody goes to take the banana. Okay. Everybody's taken a beating. Why they've taken a beating, nobody knows. And why the, all the other 9 ones have hit, they don't know. Okay. So all the new monkeys, they don't know why they're being hit. Neither they know why they should not go and take the banana. Neither they know why they should hit the other one if somebody tries to take a banana. Okay. So what has happened here? What has happened here is you've been put into a environment a conditional environment. What the conditions are, you don't know. What the rules are, you don't know. Okay? You only know what you want. Okay? And in trying to get what you want, again, some conditions apply. So there's no matching happening. There's a mismatch. Then there is a hurt. Okay? And everybody else also in the same situation. Nobody understands the conditions. But everybody are playing, everybody part of the group. And this is life. This is the story of life. Life is conditional game. Okay? What the conditions are, you don't know. What the rules are, you don't know. And in this conditional game, you start with the feeling that you're unconditional. Okay? And then you can do anything. Then when you go to do that, the conditions bring you down. Okay? It is the force of, it is a play of karmic force. So what the scriptures tell is this life is because of force of many, many lives. And what is conditional life? Is there choice in conditional life? So the Sri Ramakrishna Paramahamsa used to give an example of freedom. What freedom human beings have. So he gives an example. There is a cow. There is a cow that is grazing, allowed to graze in the field. Is it unconditional grazing? No. The cow is, there's a pole there. The cow is tied to the pole with a rope. It is allowed to graze, but only as much as the rope allows. Beyond that, it can't go. Similarly, in life, there is no real freedom. Everything is conditional. You do not choose where you're born. We do not choose who we are born to. We do not choose what will happen next. We do not choose our brain capacity. Okay? We do not choose our who we meet as friends. And throughout, there's a journey from birth to death where we think we are making the choices and going towards the end of the journey, without knowing that all the choices have already been made. Okay? So practically, you are in jail. This is called samsara. It exactly sounds like a prison, no? Where the prisoners are there in the prison, but they don't have absolute freedom. Whatever freedom they have, it's within the jail. And within the jail also, they live in fear of the warden and the other prisoners. So it's life like a prison, where the cycle of birth and death seems like a prison. That wherever you are, you really don't have freedom. It is based on your past. There's nothing that you say that, okay, I will do something now and I will get something. It is conditional, provided your past momentum allows it. Provided in your past momentum, do you have a punya balance or papa balance? Okay, so then you live a life, then you add to that account, then again there's a death, and again there's a rebirth. Now, this problem statement is a problem statement of life. I am in a game of repeated cycle of birth, death, death. And in between birth and death, what is happening is destined for me. Okay? I am going to take a birth, I have no choice. When I'm going to die, I don't have a choice. What is going to happen between that birth and death, I don't have a choice. Okay? And I don't like it. I don't like what is happening. So the theme of life, this is called bandhana, karma bandhana. The karma bandhana is I am entwined in the karmic cycle of birth and death, birth and death. Is there a way out of it? Is there a way out of it? Is the question. And the way out of it is through the process of understanding that which is beyond birth and death, that which is higher. And that which is higher, there is something which is beyond birth and death, something which is higher, but that is not available to perception, that is not available to the senses. Okay. Now, is there such a thing? And if there is such a thing, how can I get it? That is the seeking. And that is called mukti. Mukti means freedom. Freedom from what? Freedom from jail. From the jail of punarapi jananam, punarapi maranam. From this jail of this karmic cycle. From the jail of this conditional living. From the jail of this programmed living is called mukti. So I need to become free from my conditions, free from my conditioning, free from my programs, which I have not chosen, free from my experience, which I don't choose, free from the doership, which I don't seem to, which I have a sense of doership. So freedom from this is called mukti. What is mukti is clear? Freedom from a conditional life, transitioning to a unconditional way of living. Okay, free from disturbances, and that freedom from disturbances centers the mind. Okay, the mind is centerless. The mind is like the monkey, always moving, constantly moving. The mind is moving into the past, into the future. Now, when the mind moves, you think I am sitting somewhere. Okay, the body is somewhere, and the mind has gone already somewhere else. The mind is already moved. The mind has moved into the future, the worry of the future, or maybe the regret of the past. Okay, and you think, okay, the body is right here. I'm in the present, but the mind is moved. Okay, that's fine. Mind is moved. But you don't realize when the mind moves, the body also moves because the body reacts to the mind's moving. If the mind moves into the future is what? Worry. Now, the brain doesn't understand what is conceptual, what is imaginative, what is imaginary, and what is real. It creates the same sensation in the body as it would create when you're in the situation. Okay? So you physically need not be in battlefield. But thinking about the battlefield, the mind can create the stress that you'll go through the battlefield. You really physically did not be at work. So if I ask you, where are you? You'll tell I'm at home. Okay? Then I tell you, okay, where is your mind? The mind is not at home. The mind is already, Sunday is getting over. Monday I have to go back to office. Monday morning blues. Okay? Or the future. Or the past. The mind is not where the body is. But the body, through because of the mind creating these images, reacts to those images. Now, in this being many places, I'm traveling, I'm constantly traveler. I'm traveling into the past, traveling into the future, and my body is constantly reacting to it. I have lost peace. Is there peace for the traveler? Always next. I have to carry load. Where will I eat? What will I do? Who will I meet? What will be the weather? The constant movement of the mind is the restless of the mind disturbs or covers your true nature, which is unchanging and unmoving. And that is called Atma or Brahman. Okay, nothing has happened to that. It has just got covered because of the movement of the mind. If the mind becomes silent and centered, rests in its source, okay, and is clear of its origin and the truth, and that is called mukti. That is called freedom from. And what is agitating the mind? What is agitating the mind is the conditions, the past momentum, the karma. That agitates the mind, that constantly creates thoughts. And when the mind becomes silent, it has become free from these thoughts, meaning become free from karma. It rests in awareness. or Atma. This is the journey. This is the journey from restlessness to rest. And how can this journey happen? What is the what is the way? What is the direct way? Is the matter of is the subject of the Upanishads. The focus of the Upanishad is this. Is it clear? So today we'll start Kathopanishad. Let us start with, so the Upanishad start with Shanti mantra. Let us chant the Shanti mantra for Kathopanishad, or it's also known as Kataka Upanishad. You can repeat after me. Om Sahana Bhavatu Sahano Bhunattu Sah Viryam Karavavahai Tejasvina Matita Ma Vidvishavahai. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. So many of you might have heard this mantra. This is a Shanti mantra, which at the beginning of the Upanishad. It is a prayer. The prayer is done by whom? Who prays? The prayer is done by the master and the disciples together. So master and the disciple together are praying. Now, first thing to understand about the Upanishads is they always try, or not try, say to the point. No beating around the bush. Very precise, very direct, and every word used is weighed and with depth placed. Okay, no, nothing arbitrary is placed there, including the Shanti mantra. So the Shanti mantra starts with Om. Om is the name of the supreme reality, Brahman. The prayer is for the supreme reality, Brahman, who is beyond perception. Sahana Bhavatu. The prayer is, please protect us. Protect us from what? The Upanishads talk about two types of problems that can come. Obstacle, problem or obstacle. One is, in anything that you have to do, there are two type of problems that can come. One is drishta, or known, or knowable. One is adrishta, unknown, unknowable. Okay? Out of this, which is simpler to handle? As you're constructing a building, okay, and you are maybe doing the roofing, then the problem is, okay, it might rain heavily. So it's experiential. It's available to your experience. You can take some action. You can plan. You can change it. But there's adrishta. Adrishta is the problem comes from within. And the adrishta is the more powerful one. It is called our own tendencies, wrong concepts, ideas, thoughts. They come and destroy. Okay, destroy maybe the good relationship that the master and disciple has, or the process of understanding. So please protect us from these. And why we are seeking? Because we don't know the people who are involved here now in the discussion of Upanishad have completely come to a clarity that there is no individual doership. It is all unknown forces, karmic forces that are happening. Now, if I tell I'm going to sit and I'm going to understand, I am taking ownership. Okay, I have the ability to understand what the master says, and master says I have the ability to teach and make you understand. No, there's a unity that we don't know. We are all puppets. We're all puppets to these forces, divine forces, demonic forces. And we don't know when what force will trigger. Okay. All we can do is pray to the divine to intervene. And that intervention is called grace. Without the grace, without the invocation of grace, there is a mechanical operation. And then in the mechanical operation, some impressions will trigger, some program will trigger that will clutter the mind and disrupt the study and the relationship. So the prayer is first for Sahana Bhavatu, for the protection from these wrong thoughts that might come up. Sahano Bhunattu. Maybe together, master and disciple together, enjoy the bliss of Brahman, bliss of this realization. There is a bliss in, like when, let's say you're in prison, you're released from the prison. The release, going out of the prison, just the thought of going out of the prison is blissful. Now imagine really going out of the prison. That going out of the prison is bliss, becoming free from the conditioning that I am the body, I am the mind, I am the intellect, I am something. Okay? That release is bliss. And that bliss you get in deep sleep, where you're released momentarily from all condition, even the conditioning of the body, even the conditioning of time and space. In deep sleep, you're free from all conditioning, all thoughts, all images, all sound, and all experience. Now, what remains is not an experience. It is a recognition of no experience. Okay? And that recognition of nothing exists, that's what you say. In deep sleep, nothing is there. And I had such a nice sleep. And the recognition of nothing is the Ananda. It's called Ananda. Now, that recognition of nothing, that Ananda, can happen in the waking state. And that is called Jivan Mukti. Wherever you are, however you are, you can realize who you are, because who you are has not changed. What has happened is, because of the conditioning, because of the program, who you've been told you are, who you have inferred you are, based on some data, you can correct. Okay? So it is the case of the blind leading the blind. So some masters say that you are in a situation where you have been told who you are by people who themselves don't know who they are. Okay? So the one who doesn't know who he is, or who she is blind, and they have instructed to the other what the other is. Now, is that instruction, is that inference by you accurate? Is that, and what is the result of that? The result of that has been suffering. So the Upanishad, the prayer is, I have come to this point where I search the truth. The search is for the truth. Please understand, the search is not for experience. That is the fundamental difference of the Upanishad. This is not a scripture of experience to give an experience. The search here is not for experience. The spiritual journey is no experience. The search not for experience. The search is not for an object of experience. The search is not to objectify the ultimate also. Okay? The search is for the truth. And both of us, the master and disciple, are searching for the truth. And both of us are dedicated to this search. Okay? If I do not know the truth, it doesn't matter. But I'm sincere to the approach that I seek the truth. And I have no hidden motive. In the name of God, I don't want something else. In the name of the Lord, just a moment. So, Sahano Bhunatu, may we enjoy the bliss of Brahman. Then, Sahaviryam Karavahe, we will put our efforts. We will put our efforts. And what is the effort here? The effort here is not we will any big action. The effort here is contemplation, dialogue, discussion, and inquiry. An inquiry within the framework of the teachings of Vedanta, within the framework of the logic that the Guru lays out. Okay. Now here there is a specific steps and logic which is given by the master, and that is why it's called Upanishad. Okay, because the problem that you're trying to solve is that the problem of jail, prison. You want to come out of the prison. Now, to come out of the prison, nobody in the prison can help you. Okay, and the jailer will not help. Jailer interest is in keeping you in the prison. Who is the jailer? The jailer is the karmic force. Okay, the order of karma, which has kept you there. Why? Because of the past action that you have done. So, the only force which can help you out of the jail is the force which is outside the jail already. And that is called, and there are forces outside the jail who are Mahatmas, but amongst them, there is one who has the compassion to help you come out of the jail. So Sri Ramakrishna used to tell, who is the Guru? Is the one, he also gives the example of a jail. In the jail, people jump out of the big wall and they escape. They are called liberated ones, muktas. But particularly, there is one who doesn't escape, who can escape if he or she wants, but who sits on the top of the wall, in between the freedom and in between the jail, and helps people who are trying to break out, trying to become free, to help them to become free. Such a person is called Sadguru. Okay. And why the Guru does it? Purely out of the compassion. So the prayer is, may I put the effort to receive this teaching, have the dialogue, and clarify my doubts and become free. Okay. And then what happens when I become free? Tejasvina varitum ma vidvishavahe. The Tejas, there is a radiance that explodes. There is already an explosion of radiance in the master. Okay. What is radiance, Tejas? You do not understand until you meet a saint, a Gnani. There is a radiance in the Gnani. It has nothing to do with the physical appearance, the skin color or the hair color or the dress that the Gnani is wearing, right? So, Sri Ramana Maharshi looks very ordinary. So, you just look at the photograph of the master of, let's say, example in the Ramana Maharshi, there is a radiance. Okay, that radiance, the pure souls are able to recognize. So, may that radiance engulf us. May I also become radiant and I enjoy the radiance of the master. So, Sahaviryam Karava, Tejasvinamadittuma Vidvishavahe. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. May there be peace, peace, peace. Peace throughout the world. And that is the prayer. So, is the Shanti Mantra clear? Now, we'll understand what is Upanishad. And then we'll go to today's Upanishad that we are starting, which is Kathopanishad. So I told you Upanishad is the seeking of the truth of the disciple and the master. Upanishad is known as a scripture, but it is the most extraordinary scripture. It is not a scripture in the sense of the scriptures that we know. See, again, we have to understand whatever you understand about a word, okay, or a book, or a subject, you're understanding it from a conditional mind. If life itself is conditional, so there's no doubt that body is conditional. Any doubt that body is not conditional? There is limitation, many limitations to the body. You can't fly, you can't, do superhuman things. Okay, there is a forget anything. You can't even see properly. The bat or the bat is able to see more than you. The dog is able to smell more than you. Okay, maybe the insects are able to taste more than you. So we are in a conditional machine called the body, and that condition somehow doesn't seem to apply for the mind. You think the mind is unconditional. Okay, my body, I can't immediately go to Mars, but in my mind, I can go to Mars. Okay, mind is also conditional. Why? The mind is filled with programs. Your thought is not your thought. Okay, so the mind is filled with programs, and that that programs is is taking you somewhere. It's taking you somewhere, not where you want to go, where you are destined to go. You understand? So where you are right now is because where you were destined to be here. Okay, not in this class, where you are, wherever you are. Okay, all this so this class that you are destined. And what is that force? It's a force of destiny. Okay. Now, this is the force. It's a lateral movement, a linear movement, a movement from past to present to future, again to another present. So, movement from birth to life to death. And most creatures are stuck in this. Okay. And that's why we are called Pashu. Have you heard of the word called Pashu? So, Pashu means animal. And Shiva has a name called Pashupati. Pashumati means the master of the animals. So we are we are like animals. We think we are better than animals. The lion is programmed to eat the deer. Okay. But we think we have a choice. Okay, I can eat the deer or not eat the deer. But even that is not a choice. That choice also is what you are destined to do. So we are also a Pashu in that sense, a mechanical creature based on based on the karmic forces. Now, to become free from that is to go, there's a possibility from this Pashu life, I can have a higher life. And that higher life is called a divine life. And the divine life comes because of the teaching of the Upanishad. So that Upanishad is making you divine. Please understand. That is the fundamental difference it is not a scripture. And what is Upanishad? Upanishad is called Apaurushaya, meaning nobody wrote it. It is called Shruti, meaning it is heard, not heard as in the physically ear. There is a rishi or an awakened one who receives the teaching, okay, and passes it on. It is not a human teaching. And that's why it's called Upanishad, because it uplifts you. The contact with the Upanishad uplifts you. Okay. Upanishad also has various other meanings. The first thing is to understand from the layer of program, I move upward. Simply meaning I'm becoming free from program, free from conditions. Okay. And that is exactly what happens in the presence of the master. In the presence of a guru, in the presence of a saint, you unclutch from your karmic force. And that's why the mind becomes silent. The mind rests in the silence. So there's a light of the master. So, and another example, another story that I've heard is somebody is walking in the dark, okay, has a lantern, but that lantern doesn't have it's not lit because there's no oil, there's no the what is that? The cotton, there's no matches. He has no resources, but the lantern is there. Now he or she is walking. Somebody who has a lantern walks past this person. Now, momentarily, in the light of the lantern of the other, this person is able to see. Okay, but then the person with the lantern, they walk past. Now again, there is darkness. Okay, now another person comes, has a lantern, but this time this person doesn't move away. This person stays and helps this and has also resources, has oil with them, has the cotton and everything that is made to light a lantern, has all the resources. And not only does he wait and shed light until this lantern is ready. And once this lantern is ready, okay, now this lantern is ready, you have your own light, then the person goes on his own journey. So this is called the presence of the master. In the presence of the master, initially there's a momentary upliftment of the mind, temporary. Suddenly you hear the teaching, I am that. I am Brahman. I am not the body. So momentarily you feel I am enlightened. Okay, momentarily you feel free. Okay, but that is only then there's a dependency on the presence of the master. But the moment you go outside of the presence, moment you come back to house, so people tell me, Guruji, when you're there, everything is very clear. They're so clear. In the class, I'm very clear. I am Brahman. I understand. Mind is so peaceful. And there's also feeling that I will never lose it. But the moment the class is over, again, all the thoughts come back. Okay, I'm not able to again go back to that. But again, I come back to the class. Again, so that is the light of the other. That is still Upanishad. But the purpose of Upanishad is not just to give you fish, it's to teach you how to fish. So there is if somebody is hungry, giving them fish, and if somebody hungry, giving them, teaching them how to fish, which is more long term. So Upanishad is both. First, it gives you fish. First, in the presence of the master, Upanishad. Upanishad means Upa, which is higher. In this case, the master is established. In the presence of such a divine being, your mind gets uplifted, feeding the fish. Then, learning how to fish. Then the dialogue starts, which the dialogue is it's a scientific dialogue, if I were to say, wherein the master is breaking the ignorance, the layers of ignorance, okay, the layers of conditioning through processes, okay, through logic, through clarity. And that process leads to a establishment in the truth. And you have learned, now you know how to fish. The light is yours now. Your own light is awakened. The guru in you is awakened. And that's why it's called Upanishad. Okay. Now, Upanishad is not an ordinary text. It is not from a human mind. It is not a record. Somebody said something. It is the teaching of the supreme reality. Okay. And it forms the last part of the Vedas. It is the last part of the Vedas. Vedas are also Apurusha, yeah? The Vedas, they're categorized as 4 Vedas. And the Vedas have 3 parts: Karma Kanda, Upasana Kanda, and Gnana Kanda. The Gnana Kanda is the last part of the Vedas. And the last part of the Vedas is called Upanishad or Gnana Kanda. The sole focus of this is self-realization, getting out of the jail. There's no other focus. It is not that I want to get some nice things in the jail. Oh, let me smuggle a phone in the jail. Let me get some preferential treatment in the jail. Let me get some nice food in the jail. Okay. Let me get some promotion in the jail. All that can also happens. Okay. The sole focus is let me get out of the jail. I don't want anything that jail has to offer. I want mukti, freedom from the jail. Okay. And that's called Upanishad. And the beauty of the Upanishad is no other scripture in the world talks about the truth without objectifying the truth. Okay? The Upanishad teaches you about the self, the Atman, the Brahman, without objectifying it. So it's not that, okay, I will so there's a transactional wisdom. Okay, transactional wisdom is I don't know physics. I will study physics. Then I know physics. Then I know the subject. Now that subject has become an object in my understanding. To my it has become a object of knowledge, right? So I am there, and I know physics is there. Correct? This is called transactional wisdom. There is a transcendental wisdom. It's beyond the senses. And in the transcendental wisdom, it's not that I am there, oh, I know Brahman. Now, Brahman has become an object of knowledge. I know so many things. I know how the world works. I know about money. I know about physics. I know about coding. I also know Brahman. That is also another subject I know. No. Okay. It is not to give you another knowledge to your already knowledge repository. Okay. Upanishad is to know Brahman is to breathe Brahman. Brahmavid, Brahmaiva Bhavati. There is no such thing as now I know Brahma Vidya. No. If I know Brahma Vidya, I am Brahman. There is no I no more. Brahman alone is. That is the difference. So you understand the difference between transactional wisdom and transcendental wisdom? Transactional wisdom is called aparavidya. Okay, where the ego is there and the ego has knowledge. Transcendental wisdom is called paravidya, where the ego is destroyed, completely annihilated. What remains is Brahman alone. And when Brahman alone remains, knowledge also is not required. That knowledge also is no longer required because Brahman is already, you know that you are Brahman. After that, no textbook is required. Right? So, Brahmavid, Brahmaiva Bhavati. So, the Upanishad bring the teaching of Tattvamasi. You are that. Not to add glory to more delusion to you. Oh, I am God now. Okay? It is to add, it is to remove all the nonsense, all the wrong concepts, and help you see what is already there. It's a discovery, not a gaining. So ascending, upari, doesn't mean to get somewhere. In the normal sense, in the transactional sense, going up in the ladder means I'm getting something new, like getting a promotion, going up, going from class 10 to class 11 or class 12. It's going up that I'm getting something new. Here you're not getting anything new. Okay, you are not promised anything new. You're only promised the truth, which is what you are, Brahman. You're only becoming free from what you're not. Okay. And this happens, this is the process of teaching and listening. The master teaches, you listen, then you have a clarification of the doubt, and there's the establishment. So it's a fourfold process. So that listening to the truth operates at in 4 stages. So first is, it's a movement from darkness to light. Okay, from ignorance to wisdom. The first stage is stage of default state, ignorance. It's called in the Upanishad language, it's called viparyaya. Viparyaya means you don't know that you don't know. You think you know something. You think you know who you are. And there is a outright disbelief on anything else, which is not in your perception. You understand? Viparyaya means I know who I am, okay, which is based on some data. And I know that this is it. What I know is right. And nobody knows anything. There's no value in Upanishad. It's this outright rejection of seeking of truth. That's ignorance, which is extremely difficult to come out of. Somebody has come to the point to tell I think I don't know. I better find out. That is the most remarkable milestone in spiritual journey. Okay? I think I don't know. And only such a person can come in contact with the master. Okay? So Viparya, first stage. Then the Viparya with the interaction with the master, uh, or even if there is no fortunate to meet the master, because that Viparya causes suffering. Okay? Is life a suffering? Life is full of suffering. Life boils you, cooks you. In that cooking starts a samshaya. From Viparya, you meet to samshaya. Samshaya means doubt. What is this? Is this life? Is this all to life? Okay. Then you see disease, death. Is this all to life? Then you start questioning. So sometimes you question, but again, because of the force of the programs, you say, I don't want to question all this. I just want to live a normal life. I'm just an ordinary civilian. Why should I get into all this mess? Let us not go into this questioning. We are ordinary people. We'll just have our ordinary life. Go back to Viparya. The Samshaya, if Samshaya becomes more, maybe there is something more. Maybe there is something more. Then it becomes Sambhavana. Sambhavana is possibility for me. You understand? It is possible in my life. Oh, my life can be different from what it is right now. Not maybe external life, but my internal state can be different because there's a constant seeking to be peaceful and happy. Everybody's constantly seeking just to be peaceful and happy. And that constant seeking moves you towards sambhavana. So by the grace of the Lord, you get sambhavana. Maybe you see somebody. So Buddha he saw suffering first. He saw somebody who was sick and somebody who was dead. Then he saw a monk. He saw a yogi. And the yogi is radiant. He was peaceful. He was also in the same situation that he is in the same environment that Siddhartha is in. And that gave him sambhavana. Ah. And that sambhavana happened to Arjuna. On the battlefield, he is distressed, he's disturbed, but he saw Krishna, and Krishna is radiating, okay, in radiance. Then a feeling comes, sambhavana. And the sambhavana makes him ask in the chapter 2 of the Bhagavad Gita, ask Krishna, tell me the way. Okay? If he's decided there's no way, he will collapse. Okay. If somebody who's depressed, if there's no way, then there's no way. There's no hope. But the hope arises when he sees Sri Krishna's face. Okay. And then that gives some sambhavana. Oh, there is a possibility. Okay. Maybe if I ask, I'll get help. So he asks Krishna the question. And then Krishna starts the Bhagavad Gita. In the same way, the Shravana, the master starts speaking. Okay. When the master starts speaking, even in the case of the Upanishad, the disciple has no clue of what is reality. Okay. The disciple might have done sadhana, might have not done sadhana, might have studied, might have not studied. Doesn't matter. Has made some progress, maybe, but doesn't know the truth. There's no experiential understanding or realization. When the master speaks, Tattvamasi, you are that Brahman. Okay? The master speaks out of the force of Brahman. That's called Brahma Balam. The master has Brahma Balam. Please understand. The master, when they speak, there's force in those words. It's ordinary words, but there are force in those words. Example, let's say there is an event there in your city, and the city is in a poor condition because of the political situation or whatever, the bureaucracy. The roads are bad. But there is an event in the city where maybe the president or the prime minister is visiting. Okay, you were before the event, you are going in the streets every day, and you keep complaining. You keep taking videos and posting it, and somebody's falling down in the pothole. You're complaining. You're having all your gatherings and complaining and talking about all these problems. You're writing blogs. Nothing happened. But the most senior member, who is maybe the prime minister or the president, just comes and looks at that place. Either has to see it, or the people who are arranging the event know that he's coming. What happens to that place? What happens to the road? It is immediately filled. Okay, all the problems are immediately solved. That you have been breaking for such a long time. Your head is solved instantaneously. Maybe by a word, by the sight, or by just the knowledge that person is coming. Why? Because of the position of that person. Right? Now, the guru is the highest position. So Lord Shiva says in the Guru Gita, Na guru radikam tattvam, na guru radikam tattvam, na guru radikam tattvam. There is nothing, no more position higher than the position of the Sadguru. And when the position, somebody from the highest position makes a comment about you, it penetrates your being. And what is a comment? It's not made a, people make comment about your body. Okay, you become so fat, so thin, so old, so whatever, beautiful, ugly, right? The guru makes a comment. What comment is that? Not about your body, not about your mind, not about your intellectual capacity. Oh, wow, you're such an intelligent person, or you're such an idiot person, you're not understanding what I'm saying. No. The comment is made about who you are. And the comment is Tat Tvam Asi. And it's not ordinary comment. It is a Brahma Balam. It comes with Brahma Balam and it penetrates. So imagine this. When the child, innocent child, there's an innocent child. So that for the child, the world is mother and father. If the mother and father makes a comment on the child at a very early age, that comment cannot be erased. That comment stays with the child lifelong, maybe multiple lives. That is the power, because the child has lifted up the mother and father to that, given that position to the mother and father. In the same way, when you surrender onto the master as Lord himself, Ishwaro Guru Atmeti, and when that guru, who is Ishwara himself, makes a statement or tells you the truth that you are that, that transforms you. And that is called Upanishad. Okay? And this teaching melts the ego, destroys the ego. The master does it through the direct teaching and through the process that maybe he or she takes, depending on who the disciple is. So this is the process of Upanishad. And there are many Upanishads. There are, must have been many Upanishads that we have lost as mankind. What we know is a little over 108 Upanishads. Out of them, there are Mukhya Upanishads. And out of them, there are Muktika Upanishads. Okay, there are categories. So Muktika Upanishads are a few. And out of the Muktika Upanishads, Kathopanishad is the third one. Okay. Muktika Upanishad simply means the only focus of this Upanishad is Jivan Mukti. It doesn't go into any other parallel track. Okay. And it goes directly to the point. And in this Upanishad is very, very unique because it is a dialogue between the jailer and the one who's in jail. Who is the jailer? The jailer is Yamadharmaraya. Okay, he's the one who is in command. So life, death, life, death. Who's taking care of all this is Yamadharmaraya. So the jiva lives a life, then dies. Then the Yamadharmaraya, so you heard of the story. There's a person who works for Yamadharmaraya called Chitragupta. He looks at the record of the person, and then Yamadharmaraya decides what is the next destiny of this person. And this goes on and on and on and on endlessly. Now the jailer himself is telling, It's teaching how to get out of the jail. That is the uniqueness of Kathopanishad. Kathopanishad is a dialogue between Yamadharmaraya and a boy, a 9-year-old boy called Nachiketa. Okay, the 9-year-old boy is the Shishya, and Yamadharmaraya is the Sadguru, is a guru, and the dialogue is the Upanishad, and the teaching liberates Nachiketa from the cycle of birth and death, and he realizes the Brahman, the supreme reality. How it happens, how it unfolds, how does this child get to have a conversation with death? Okay, and why is death teaching him what is this? The teaching of Atmangnana. All that we will take up in the next session when we start the Kathopanishad. Okay, so today I wanted to just give an introduction with a Shantri mantra, with what is an Upanishad, right? And with the premise that the seeking is Atma Gnana, self-knowledge. Now, little more about the Kathopanishad. The Kathopanishad, it's also called as Kathopanishad. So I told you Upanishads are last part of Vedas. This is a part of a Veda called Yajurveda, Krishna Yajurveda. There are two Yajurvedas of two types, Krishna and Shukla. So there is a story behind why that is. I'll take it up in the future. So the Krishna Yajurveda has this Upanishad, Kathopanishad, as its Gnanakand, as a part of its Gnanakand. So any questions? Now, let us understand a little bit more about Kathopanishad, the context of death. So I in the earlier in the video, I paused. I just paused for some time, right? So one of my family members walked in, telling that there's been a death in the family. Okay, so we have seen death as part of our lives. Maybe because of Corona, we saw a lot of death, right? So the theme of death is there all around our life. But this reality of death is the most unaccepted by us. Okay? And you always live. So you make plans. You all make plans, 5-year plan, 10-year plan. You already start planning for your children's marriage. Okay? I will take out a policy now that when my child is 20 years later, okay, benefits. Okay, what will I do tomorrow? What will I do next week? When you're planning, what are you assuming all the time? That you will be alive. The assumption is, how will I die? It will happen to everybody else, but not to me. Okay, the assumption is this, that it will happen to everybody else, not to me. And so people they talk about fear of death. Then some people tell, I have no fear of death. Okay. So you have fears in life, fear. Okay, what is the fear? Some people, the fear is maybe I lose a job. I lose a job is a valid fear. What happens if I lose a job? What happens if I lose a job?
Like my livelihood is affected. Like,
My survival is affected.
yeah,
What is my survival? What happens if my survival affected?
uh,
I
I
will
don't know.
die.
Uh,
If I'm not surviving, I'm dying.
uh,
Correct? So all fear. So you please understand, you think you fear something. Somebody has a fear of heights. Somebody has a fear of job loss. Somebody has a fear of something, okay, something not working their way. It is always a fear of my survival, which is a fear of death. Okay, so what you're always fearing, even the person who makes a statement, I do not fear death, fear something. And that fear, whatever they fear, okay, say, I do not fear my death, but I fear for the death, for the, for my loved ones. Okay, what will happen to if something happens to your loved ones? Then I will break down. My survival again shaken. So ultimately, it comes down to my survival. Okay, so you're in the const and survival is struggle. Please understand. For any creature, to survive is to struggle. Can you just survive? Survival means struggle. There's no just survival. Where and this is the rule of the game. If you're in the jail, if you have to survive in the jail, you have to work. Okay. If you don't work, you cannot survive. You have to move. So the rule, and this gets very stressful. Okay. And ultimately, there are conditions for survival. I want to survive like this. Okay, that person is surviving like that. I want to survive like that. And all these survival uh, desires, need, is ultimately behind that lies the fear of death. So I personally, when I was very young, I grew up in a street where all the houses were very, very small and all the houses were stuck together. Okay, all the houses, one wall is stuck together. That all small street, many houses. And that time, the entire street was like one family. We would walk into everybody's houses. So, and that means anything happens in anybody's house is a street problem. Okay. And everybody would come to know, everybody would participate. So one theme was, and just at the end of the street, end of the house that I was living in, I was there for my entire schooling time. The end of that street was a graveyard. Okay, there was a huge graveyard where death was, you can see it every day. So seeing that, being in that environment and seeing so many deaths in the street of different religions. So there were different people from different religions in the street. And seeing the death at a very young age, right, always made me question. Okay, I would talk to God. Why people are dying? So one of my cousins who was my age at that time, when we were very young in primary school, maybe third standard or second standard, lost his mother. So the moment I heard that, first time it hit me because that was the first time it happened in a very personal situation in my family and to somebody who was my age, who I was playing with. So the question comes, oh, then it can happen to me also. I can also lose my parent. So there's no rules to this thing. And then why he should lose? There are so many bad people in the world. Why don't they lose? Okay. Then what is death? What happens after death? So these were the questions that were boiling. But fortunately for me, I paid more attention to it in the sense that that philosophical question was that seed. I allowed it to grow. Okay. Become more observant in the world. And fortunately for me, when I met my master, my Sadguru, the question was very clear. Okay. What is this life and death? What happens after death? Okay, why we die, why we are born. These are the fundamental questions that you really seek answers to. The mind has superficial questions. Okay, then there are fundamental questions. The fundamental questions are, who am I? Why I am here? What is life and death? Okay, and the Kathopanishad is the answer. It is very, very rare to get this insight. And please understand, it's not a story that is told that Yamadharmaraya is telling Nachiketa. It is factual that Yama Dharmaraya, who is the supreme consciousness, Yama, okay, the Lord who is playing the role of Yama Dharmaraya, is giving the message. Do you understand? It is not a fictional character in whose mouth the words have been put of higher wisdom. No, it is Lord Himself. Like Bhagavad Gita is Lord Bhagwan Himself teaching. Kathopanishad is Yamadharmana himself, actually Yamadharmana himself, giving the teaching of life, death, and the stages of life, the growth, and the way to become immortal. It is called in the language of this Upanishad, Amritatva. I want to get out of the jail, means I want to become immortal. Okay? That Amritatva is Gnana, Atmagna. And that is bestowed by Lord Yamadharmaya to Nachiketa. So the story is Nachiketa, there is a place a very long time ago, in the time of the Upanishad, where Nachiketa and his father, his father's name is uh, Vajashrava. His father is doing a yagna. The yagna is called Vishwajit Yagna. Vishwajit Yagna. Vishwajit means I want to conquer the world. Okay, for that he's doing a yagna. What he's doing in that yagna? He is donating all the cows that he has, all the cows, animal, herd that he has. And he's doing something wrong. He is giving away all the weak, incapable, impotent, and useless cows, sick cows, to the people who are coming to take the dana. And his son, who's just 9 years old, Nachiketa, he looks at his father. He says, "This is what you're doing is wrong. You're doing Vishwadityagna. You are supposed to give good things." He goes on trying to correct his father, and the father gets angry, and the father curses him, and Nachiketa dies. And when he dies, he meets Yamadharmaraya. Yamadharmaraya, he asks, in the interaction that they have, Yamadharmaraya is pleased with this boy because this boy is exceptional. And Yamadharmaraya wants to reward him and gives him 3 boons. You have 3 boons, ask whatever you want. Okay? And what these boons are, what Nachiketa asks, what Yamadharmaraya answers is the to be continued in the next session of the Kathopanishad. Okay? Any questions?
Guruji, I have a question. So when you were saying the Upanishads don't objectify Brahman, so the Upanishads do say like Brahman is attributeless or Brahman is peaceful and things like that. That is objectifying the Brahman, right? Like
So
telling
the
its qualities or
so
something
the
like that.
Upanishads don't objectify the Brahman. They only try to use the language that you know to point
Hmm.
out to Brahman. For example, what the Upanishad, even Upanishad and the
Hmm.
Guru and the Upanishad are doing the same thing. Okay, the Upanishad is called, first of all, the Upanishad is called Pramana.
Hmm.
To get to Brahman, the only way is Pramana. The
Okay.
you have to understand 3 things of 3 ways of knowing anything in the world. The
Hmm.
first way of knowing is called Pratyaksha. Okay, Pratyaksha means it is there. Okay, is the sun there? You don't have to believe. I can see it. Pratyaksha, it's there.
Hmm.
Okay, Pratyaksha means it is available to my sense organs. So I will say whatever is not Pratyaksha is not there because it's not available to my sense organs. So first parameter that I use is Pratyaksha. Is it available to my sense organs. So most of the inferences about what is reality, you make based on pratyaksha. Correct? But the pratyaksha itself has loopholes. It is false. Because what is pratyaksha to you is based on the limitation of your sense organ. For example, if you're colorblind, the part of reality which has blue, you don't see at all. Let's say you are colorblind and a particular type of colorblindness where you cannot see blue. Then pratyaksha is there. You are seeing, but it is broken. The image is partial. Okay, so the Buddha gives the example of the 5 blind men. I told you earlier. So somebody asks about Brahman. Then Buddha gets an elephant. He gets 5 blind men, and the 5 blind men are trying to understand elephant. One blind man holds the tail and he says, "I understand elephant." The elephant is flexible. Another blind man says the elephant is like a pillar. He's holding the leg. Another blind man says the elephant is like the trunk. Another blind man says like a paper. It's like a ear. So who saw the elephant?
They all saw parts of the elephant. No one saw the entire
Part
thing.
also. They had some contact and made an inference on that based on their experience.
Hmm.
The blind man has not seen tail.
Right.
He's making an inference of the tail, which is a part of the elephant. You understand?
Hmm. Yeah.
So your sense organs are so limited that you see something. Don't think you're seeing the sky. Please understand. You think you're seeing the sky. You're seeing a part of what is there and inferring from what you see.
Hmm.
Okay. It is a part of a part that you're seeing.
Okay.
So that is called pratyaksha. That pratyaksha has flaws. Now, if Brahman is pratyaksha, if God is pratyaksha, that means God is limited in his sense organ, limited in his sense,
Yeah.
right? Forget God.
Right.
Whole universe itself is not pratyaksha. You can't see the whole universe.
Hmm.
Can you see the whole universe?
No.
Is it there?
Yeah, it's there.
Can you ever see it?
No.
Or is the Jupiter there?
Yeah, it's there.
Have you seen it?
No.
Okay, so this is the problem. What is there? If it becomes pratyaksha, it is objectified.
Hmm.
Okay? Because it's come to my grasp of my sense organs. That's called pratyaksha. Then there is another way of my perception where it's not pratyaksha, it is anumana. For example,
Hmm.
I see smoke, which is pratyaksha. But what I infer, there is fire.
There is a fire. Yeah.
Fire I have not seen. But based on what is pratyaksha, I infer there is something else. That is called anumana.
Yeah. Hmm.
So I see an effect. Okay. Based on that, I know that there is a cause. In this way
Okay.
also, I can't know Brahman. In Anumana also, I can't know Brahman because the it is still an object. It is still under the realm of cause and effect.
Hmm.
There has to be a cause to know the effect. And there is no one cause, there are multiple causes.
Hmm.
Right? So then the third layer is called Pramana. Pramana is the only way for you to know Brahman. The Pramana is of 2 types, Shastra Pramana and Shruti Pramana. Okay? Or Guru Pramana. So Pramana is like this. The example of Pramana given in Vedanta is there's a child, there's a mother and a child. When the child is born, the father goes on travel on site, goes on site, and the child has never seen the father. Okay, at that time there was no video calling and FaceTime and everything. Okay, after many years, now that the child is grown up, little grown up, the father comes back. Then the mother tells, "This is your father." The child says, "Welcome back, daddy." Welcome back, papa. The child doesn't ask, oh, is it? Give me proof. I want DNA test. Okay, take a blood test, then genetics, everything I want to make sure. Does the child say like that? The child takes the pramana of the mother. This is the only way of Atmanana. And here, Brahman is not objectified because the mother is pointing, this is father. Okay, this is father. There's a finger. Now, will the child hold the finger? Oh, this is father.
No.
Child will look at what is pointed to. Correct?
Okay.
The words used by the Guru, Tattvamasi, Sachidananda, Ananda, what is that? Omnipresent, omnipotent, attributeless, birthless, deathless. All these are words.
Hmm.
Words are not Brahman.
Okay.
Words are like the finger.
Hmm.
What they point to is Brahman.
Okay.
Correct? You understood?
Yeah. Yeah.
The
Yeah.
Upanishad and the Guru doesn't objectify Brahman. The Guru never objectifies. The Guru is pointing to something that cannot be pointed to, right? But that is the only way. Because there's a limitation of language. The language has a limitation. Language can
Hmm.
only talk about objective things.
Right.
Now, self is beyond words, beyond language. The absence of all language is self. That's why it's called silence, Shanti.
Hmm.
Now, Shanti, you're not able to enter Shanti because of Ashanti. So the problem is not Shanti. All you have to do is remove Ashanti. What remains is Shanti. So the Guru's,
Okay.
please understand, Guru's word, one is pointing to Brahman and is destroying your ignorance. Okay, all the effort is destruction. It's a destructive activity. That's why Guru is called Shiva. So Guru is destroying the ignorance, and what remains after all the destruction is self.
Okay.
In fact, Guru is not objectifying, the Shastra Upanishad is not objectifying Brahman. It
Hmm.
is objectifying what you have subjectified. See, you, Gautam, what is Gautam is what? The body is Gautam.
Hmm. The body mind is Gautam. Yeah.
Body mind is object.
Right. Yeah.
You have made into subject.
Hmm.
You said body mind is Gautam. Body mind is not Gautam. Body mind is object. Is
Right.
body mind there in deep sleep?
No. No.
No.
But Gautam, the name is also not there. So I was saying the name is associated with the body mind.
But you are you the name?
No, I'm not.
So the one who is really Gautam
Hmm.
is associated with an object called body mind. So the teaching is actually objectifying that you made into a subject. You have made an object into a subject.
Hmm.
Okay? The Guru's teaching or the Upanishad is destroying that. It is telling, Are Buddhu, you are thinking body, which is an object, as you, which is not true. Okay? Then how will I realize who am I? The only way is understand I'm not the body.
Hmm.
Don't worry about getting self. Don't worry about realizing who am I. Realize very clearly how I'm not the body. How I'm
Yeah.
not. Then what remains is Brahman.
Got it.
Stop subjectifying. Stop making object into subject. You make all objects. You make a program. Okay? Some program arises in you. Let's say the program is of anger. What statement you make? What statement you make? Okay, forget
Oh,
anger.
I am angry.
I
Something like
am angry.
that. Yeah.
What have you done?
Subjectified the object.
Anger is an object or subject?
Anger is an object.
Why anger is an object?
Uh, because
Object.
because I can observe the anger. I can observe. It can be
Exactly.
observed. Yeah. Yeah.
Anger is the observed. I am the observer. whatever is observed is an object. Then why
Right.
did you make the statement, I am angry? I am angry.
Yeah. Yeah. That's false.
So, and anger is temporary. It comes and it goes. Are you perpetually angry?
No.
Only Hulk is perpetually angry. Okay. Because he is
Right.
transformed into Hulk. Are
Mm.
you perpetually angry?
No, no, no.
Can you be perpetually sad?
No.
Can you perpetually be body?
No.
Forget uh, death. In 24
Just
hours, you
sleeping.
can't hold on to body, right? You change the
Yeah,
body,
yeah.
sleep body.
Mm.
What can you perpetually be? What object that you so-called tell yourself as can you perpetually be? Oh,
Yeah,
I'm
none
very
of.
depressed. Oh, I'm so depressed. Can you be okay?
Yeah, yeah.
You can call perpetual depression to other people, but you can. So you stop objectifying, sorry, subjectifying the object.
Mm.
Okay, and the way you'll stop doing that is by pramana. The pramana is
Okay.
the guru comes and tells you are that.
Mm.
Okay, now you have to tell if that doesn't uh, align with your understanding.
Mm.
It is not the guru's job. That's why the Shanti mantra starts with Sahaviryam Karavavahe. We'll put our efforts. Your only
Mm.
effort is to open your mouth and tell why that logic is not sitting with you. You have to tell,
Mm.
right? If the guru tells you are not the doer, you're not the body, you are that. If that is unacceptable to you, you have to present why. Then there's a discussion, and all these discussions are logical. It's a Vedantic discussion, wherein the guru or the shastra is not bringing in some mystical element or some example or attribute beyond your day-to-day experience. That is the beauty of Upanishad. It is not talking about some heaven, some divine creature in the heaven.
Right.
It stays to your day-to-day experience. So Sri Krishna
Mm.
Paramatma doesn't change doesn't talk about something which is beyond Arjuna's experience.
Mm.
You understand?
Yeah, yeah, I
Whatever I
understand.
told so far, what is the reference of something esoteric?
Uh, Pramana.
No, Pramana is not esoteric. Pramana is that the master is the truth.
Okay.
Okay? The master is the truth. That's not esoteric because it becomes esoteric when there are some master gets four hands, does starts doing something miracle, then it's esoteric. But
Okay.
Buddha is ordinary living. He goes and begs and he eats and he goes to toilet. Okay? He's as ordinary as you. Ramakrishna Paramahansa
Mm.
had cancer.
Mm.
Ramana Maharshi has cancer. There's no esoteric. If it's esoteric, is there something special about the master? The master is healing.
Right, right,
All
right.
these are the concepts from the stories.
Okay.
In the Upanishad, there is nothing esoteric. It is a logical discussion.
Right, right.
Is it clear?
Mm. Clear, 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 Guruji.
So Upanishad do not objectify Brahman. Or Guru doesn't objectify. The Guru does not present you, God to you, or you to you as an object. The object is in the realm of the mind. Please understand. Object means mind. Objects mean thought. No thought, no object. Do you understand this? This is a fundamental. No thought, no object.
Yeah,
No thought, no word.
yeah,
What is the source of object? Is thought.
yeah,
Correct? Brahman is not thought.
yeah.
It is not a thought, I am Brahman. It is the absence of all thought. In the absence of all thought, the mind is absent. When the
Mm.
mind is absent, there is a recognition by the self Now, if the mind is not there, who's recognizing? The self is recognizing self. You
Okay.
understand? So in deep
Yeah.
sleep, mind is not there. But are you there?
Yeah.
Yeah. That is a self-recognition. No instrument is used to recognize. You understand?
Right.
The world cannot be seen without the instrument called eyes.
Hmm.
But the self is always known without any instrument. It is a self-luminous knowledge. And that self-luminous knowledge in the language of Vedanta is called aparoksha anubhuti. It is a direct, intuitive knowing. Okay? And it is not an object. If it was an experience, it's an object. If it is a direct, intuitive experience, what happens? You lose the experience. What is the nature of experiences?
They have a beginning and an ending.
They have an end. So if God is an experience, that experience ends. So Brahma Gnana or realization is not an experience. Is that clear? That's why
Clear.
I started with the premise searching the truth versus searching experience. People are searching experiences in spirituality. I want to experience God. Okay. But the experience of God is direct anubhuti, knowledge without any instrument. Experience requires an instrument. No mind, no experience. Okay. Without mind, experience is not possible. But without mind, a recognition of who I am is possible.
Hmm.
That's what Dana. Is it clear?
Yeah. Clear.
Anybody else? Any other questions? Radhika ji, clear? Who is the user B and R?
Namaste,
Guruji,
Guruji. Ravi.
Ravi. Every day your name is getting shorter.
Maybe I am trying to get rid of the name, body mind.
That's why in the earlier days, people used to give longer names. So somebody's name is something, you get much more longer name. Paramatmananda or Advaitananda, Brahmananda, right? Yes. Any questions, Radhika?
yeah, Guruji, not question, but a doubt. Like since we're talking about death, there are so many researches conducted around near-death experience, but they see their own astral body. So my question is, isn't this Maya? Because they see something, uh, isn't it their interpretation or a hallucination of some kind?
No.
Whereas
I got the
knowing,
question. Yeah. So the question is about near death. What is near death experience? Is it real? What is the death experience? So the Sanatana Dharma in the Upanishad and Sri Vedavasa Maharishi, who wrote the Puranas, who wrote a text called Garuda Purana. Okay. And then in the system of Tibet, the Tibetan Buddhism system, Buddha himself gave an extremely illustrative understanding of what is life and what is beyond life. Okay. And in the Tibet, they have a process called bardos. Bardos is what happens at the time of death and after death. So, first of all, is near death experience real? Absolutely. Okay. It is as real as your current experience. From the highest standpoint, all experiences are false. Okay. But as long as you're identified with the body, when it's 0 or 1. Okay. For example, you're in the dream, you went to Paris, you took a lottery ticket, you won the lottery. Okay. When you wake up, you say, oh, the whole thing was a dream, but I wish only the lottery part was real. Is it possible? Is it possible? No. when you let go of the dream, you have to let go of the lottery also. The whole thing is part of the dream. In the same way, in the Maya, there is multiple lokas. There is Bhuloka, 7 lokas above, 7 lokas below. Bhuloka, Bhuvarloka, Suvarloka, Mahaloka, Janoloka, Tapoloka, Satyaloka, Atala, Vitala, Sutala, Rasatala, Jalatala, Patala, and the lower level lokas. So in the near-death experience, depending on who is having the near-death experience, the experience will be of different types. So if the person is of a higher consciousness, they might get visibility of higher level lokas. Okay, or lower level lokas. They might see Yamadutas coming to take them, creatures who are demonic in nature coming to take them. Are they real? Absolutely real. In the realm of karma, it's absolutely real because it's your karma. Ultimately, everything is a karma, right? For example, you see your spouse or child. Are they real to you? What are they really? They are your karma taking that form and coming to you. Please understand. You understand? Your boss, your wife, your child are physical people, right? That you interact with. But they're only karmic forces taking that shape and coming to you. Similarly, at the time of death, or in the case of a near-death experience, and near-death experience is recorded across the world. It's not exclusive to some geography. People across the world have had near-death experiences. Many doctors have had near-death experiences, right? So there, the mind sort of gets disassociated with the body. So the body is multiple layers. There are sheaths of the body. What you see is only the gross sheath. There's Annamaya, Pranamaya, Manomaya, Vijnanamaya, Anandamaya Kosha. There are sheaths. And the mind itself is gross, subtle, and causal. Okay. So once the loosening with the gross body happens, the mind is able to experience different realms, which are not the Bhuloka. So that is called near-death experience, where you're almost dying, but maybe for whatever reason, the death didn't happen. So is it real? Yes. What is the experience? That is that experience real? Absolutely real. As if somebody sees a deity or a demon, is as real as you seeing some physical person in that realm. Now, are those realms there? Yes, they are there. Are they real from the absolute standpoint? They're not real. But they're absolutely real as long as you think you're the body. Is it clear?
Yes, Guruji.
So Sri Ramana Maharshi, Ramana Maharshi is a child. He had a different name that time. One of his family members passed away. And he got very curious. What is his death? And he started behaving as he says, he was so curious, he wants to experiment. And he says, I'm dying. I'm dead now. Okay. And he had a death experience. And the death experience, when he came back from the death experience, he's no longer in ignorance. He's now Gnani. That death experience for Ramana Maharshi, he got established in Brahmagnana. And what did he see in the death experience? There is no body, no mind, non-duality. So the experience of death. So as we go into the Kathopanishad, we'll go deeper into it. But the death is very significant. Okay. Death is so significant that it is the ultimator. It's actually the deciding moment for your next journey. Right. So what happens in death? Is death conscious? Is death unconscious? Why the death happens in a certain way? Right? Is there freedom from this cycle of birth and death? Is the theme of Kathopanishad. Ravi, you had a question?
No, Guruji, not a question.
Anna ji, clear? अच्छी टॉपिक है, बुरी टॉपिक है?
अच्छी है।
हित के बारे में सुनना है. It is a very, very beautiful Upanishad. Okay? It is a rare opportunity for us to get to listen to these things. Okay? It is out of, and that's why it's called Upanishad Gnana Yagna. Please don't think I'm coming to a class. Oh, it's a class I'm attending. It is a Gnana Yagna. So it's a revelation of the highest teachings. Okay? And what it does to you is it purifies. Okay, it purifies whether you really understand it or not. For example, Mata Amritanamayi gives a very beautiful example. You are taking every day vitamins unknowingly. Okay, you're eating healthy food unknowingly. You don't know about it because you don't know what is health. Maybe you don't know what is health unhealthy or what is the medicine. You're just taking it. Does it have an effect on you? Right? Just because it is maybe not. You don't know what is the medicine, what is it made up of, what is the chemical reaction in the body, what is not. You don't need to know that. You simply take vitamin, and it will make your skin better, your health better, your heart better. Right? You don't know the functioning of that medicine, but unknowingly taking it also is having benefit. In the same way, the Shravana, the listening to the highest teaching, they purify you. They burn the karma. The force of karma, which is lifetimes, gets loosened. And you will see the effect of that in your life. Ultimately, what is karma? It comes in your life as thoughts. Disturbing thoughts. Okay, disturbing thoughts, chaos, doubt, hate, restlessness. That is karma. Ultimately, that is karma. That is hell. You don't have to go to any other hell for that. Your hell is your thought. Is thought hell? Agreed? Thought is hell.
Okay.
And there's nothing you can do about it. Please understand. Nothing you can do about it. Can you switch off thoughts?
No.
And the thought is karma. Force of karma. That force of karma is destroyed by gnana. That force, this gnana yagna. And this yagna is a process. For this process to happen, it's not easy. For anything to happen in your life, many of you in different countries, right? For you to be there, so at a global scale, many things have to happen. Some global company should be there. They should hire you. The airline should be there. Some pilot has to be there, right? It's not easy to go from one place to another place. So many factors are there, correct? So you can't say, I went there. Somebody has to give you a passport, right? You have to have the money to buy a ticket. For that, you have to work 10 years, right? So it's difficult. Now, for yagna to happen, which is the destroyer of karma, not creator of karma, please understand. For the karma to perpetuate itself, so many things have to happen. You understand? For your destiny to unfold, for example, your destiny is to be in certain geography. Let's say you're in US or UK. That is your destiny. For that to unfold in your life, so many things have to happen. Universal forces have to come together, right? For karmic destiny to unfold. Now, for destiny to get erased, changed, transcended, the highest of the highest forces have to come together. They are called devatas. The devatas come together. The Guru Parampara, the Ganga that has been flowing, not the physical Ganga, the Gnana Ganga from millions of years, the teachings, the yagna, the dana, the tapasya, all that has been happening in the world. No? So it is said that when you put something into the fire worship, the havis goes to devatas. Have you heard of that? Havis goes to devatas. So it's not that the fire is just symbolic. Any good activity done by anybody in the world, okay, the devatas get the havis. And that havis is used by them to create these kind of, create activities that will benefit the world. And The best is used for yagna, rishi yagna. Because in the rishi yagna, your karmic, your destiny, your karmic force is burnt, destroyed. Is it clear? And you become mukta, jivan mukta, liberated. It is getting you out of jail. So getting you out of jail is not easy. So it is the simplest of the simplest, but it is a cosmic conspiracy. You think your karma is conspiracy against you. Oh, Lord is conspiring me and putting me into trouble. In fact, Lord every day is conspiring to get you out of jail. You've gotten so accustomed to the jail. So there's a beautiful saying that I had heard in my college, and I'd written it down in the book. That's why I remember it. I am not angry at a child who is afraid of the dark. Okay? But I'm sad at the men who are afraid of the light. So you've gotten so used to the darkness that light is stranger for you. That God is you have to be afraid of. You understand? So once again, welcome and thank you all for joining the Gnana Yagna. In the next session, we'll take up the story of Nachiketa. What questions, what boons, 3 boons that Nachiketa asks Yamadharmanaya. So all of you curious people can ask ChatGPT or can look up on the internet what Nachiketa asked, what boons Nachiketa asked Yamadharmanaya. Okay. Shall we close for the day?
Yeah.
Asatoma
Asatoma
Sadgamaya
Sadgamaya
Tamasoma
Tamasoma
Jyotirgamaya
Jyotirgamaya
Mrityorma
Nirtirma
Samgamaya.
Gamaya
Om Shanti Shanti Shanti.
Om Shanti Shanti Shanti.
Hold your palms out. Bless the whole world. Loka samasta
Loka samasta
Sukhino bhavantu.
Kino bhavantu.
Loka samasta
Loka samasta
Sukhino bhavantu.
Kino bhavantu.
Harihi Om.
Harihi Om.
Shri Gurubhyo Namaha.
Shri Gurubhyo Namaha.
Harihi Om.
Harihi Om.
My pranams to all. So next week we will not have next Sunday we will not have the session. Next Sunday is the festival of Ugadi. So wishing you all a very happy Ugadi. We will take up the session 1 on the Kathopanishad on the Sunday after that, which is the 6th of April. Okay. Hari Om.
Hari Om Guruji.
Priyam Guruji.
Hari Om.